Good morning. Excuse me, everyone, we are on the air. Okay. Good morning, and welcome to the regular open meeting of the Third Laguna Hills Mutual Board of Directors. I would like to call this meeting to order. We have a quorum. Actually, we have an entire board today, so that is wonderful. So I would like now to turn this over to our illustrious secretary, and sometimes always mad at us, Director Bruninghouse, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we begin, I would like to ask everyone in the room to turn their cell phones off. I see some folks already anticipating that in the front row. Good for you. Thank you.
Okay, is the media present? Yes, okay. And I have been advised by Cheryl, our administrative person, that we are going to vote electronically today. So it's set to go. So the first, we'll see how that goes. The first thing is I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
Second.
Any comments, any additions? All those in favor? Oh, see, look, already they forgot.
We're too
All right,
quick.
Cheryl, I guess they just don't want to learn, but that's okay. Okay, all right. So now we're going to try it again. So, all right, so the minutes, the agenda is approved, and now we are going to need a motion to approve the minutes. Can we do the both of them together? Yes.
So moved.
All right, second?
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, see, all right. I'm glad we're having a comedy workshop today. Okay.
Show up.
All right. So the report of the chair. I have 4 things to report today, and I am going to ask our wonderful communications director, head in charge, to step up to the microphone because she'll help a little bit. So the first thing is we would like to welcome our 2 new directors to the board. They were appointed in an open meeting that we had. One of them is Annie McCary. Welcome, Annie. And Annie will be on the board through 9 of 2020. So she has like almost a year and a half. And then she could decide to run again. And then the other one is Reza Karimi. And Reza has been appointed for the term ending 9/21. So he has 2.5 years. And Reza came over, he was on the VMS board, and he was very active and lively there, so we welcome you to the board. Welcome, Reza. Which leads me to the next thing, is that we have to fill Reza's position on VMS. And it has been noticed, it has been advertised in the paper, and applications are being accepted on the second floor. How does somebody get up to the second floor to fill out an application? What?
They asked the concierge to call up.
Okay, because, what would you do? You'd be down here and you'd have the application in your hand. Nobody could hear you while you're over there talking. I don't know.
So we were saying that we get a call when someone's coming for an application, and we bring the application downstairs to the.
I mean, you don't drag them upstairs?
We don't drag them
Okay.
upstairs.
Okay, and and that position will hopefully be filled at a special meeting that we're having on April 11th. I believe it's in the afternoon. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to touch on very briefly is the dryers. So we have been talking about the dryer installation and the need to change things in our laundry rooms for 1.5 years. For those of you who don't know, in United, they had changed the price of the washers to $1. And we kept ours at 50 cents. And we said, it's better for us to charge 50 cents and 50 cents, more or less, because what we're seeing is a tremendous waste of energy by people just turning the dryer on because there was really no, like a big timer on there. And so we wanted to monitor that. So we went through a tremendous process of evaluation, working with our finance department. So I would like everyone to please understand that we did not do any of this lightly. I myself, as do I think 3 or 4 of our other board members, live in 3-story buildings, so we are the users of the dryers. But there's a lot of information about that, and I'm not going to go into it all. It appears in this week's issue, this week's, imagine if you had to publish it weekly, this month's issue of the Village Breeze, as to the things we did to adjust your assessment. We lowered your assessment that you paid for for the laundry rooms, so that really you weren't going to have tremendous out-of-pocket costs, unless you were a laundry-doing maniac like I am, which means you would be spending some more money. But we did all that. So it appears in the article in the Breeze, and it also appears online. So if you would like to look at it online, if you can't, come in and get a copy. But we happen to have some extra copies of this in the back of the room. So are you ready? We're going to show you how to find it if you don't know how to look up things at our website.
Oh, there we go, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Wore black to be a subtle stagehand, that didn't work. So if you'll take us to news, this is how to find it on the website, on the village website. So you go to news,
Wait, so how do you get to the village website?
www.lagunawoods.village.com.
Okay, that's a
Okay.
start. All right.
And then you'll go to news, and you'll see right there, it says Village Breeze, March 2019, and you'll hit that, and then you hit the download button, and it will bring up the I don't
Entire.
think we need, yeah, but anyway, there it is. It's a PDF. It comes out nice and big. Her name is Junebug. She lives in the stables, and there you have it. And then the other nice thing is that it is all linked, so you can just go to the table of contents, just press third. I mean, we want you to read everything, but you just are more interested in just going to third, it'll just take you right to third's section of the Breeze. So it comes out, give or take, the first week of every month.
Okay, thank you. So again, just to finish this off, please remember that we take our responsibility very seriously. We know we were put in office by you, the residents, and we know that everything we do has to be concerned about your money, which is also our money, our homes, how we take care of them, and the things that we could do to make this a better place for all of us. So at that point, I'm going to turn this over to Eileen again, because we have another new exciting thing that Third is doing, which is we have acquired the streetlight poles from Southern California Edison. And the reason why we did that is there are many layers of reason, but a big part of it was the fact that our lighting is so important to our security. And for the past years, for many years, if we would report a light out, it could have been out for 6 months, and we would contact them and contact them. So the thing is not only will we have control over the lights, which is very important, it also affords us the opportunity, and this is what Eileen is going to talk about, to test different lighting fixtures so that we can, I'm not an electrician, expand the area that is being lit. Because I know that lighting is an issue in the community, and we really want to work on that. Once we go through this project, once we identify the lights that we want to get, once we have that all done, then we'll be able to go into another phase of our commitment to the community, which is to see those areas that even though we've done this, it still needs walkway lighting or something like this, because we can't ask the residents to keep their Christmas lights on their doors and their buildings to light up the community, because that works, but it isn't quite right. So in any case, it's all yours, Eileen. Thank you.
So we're asking all Third Mutual residents who would like to, don't mean to get you out of bed at night if you really don't want to do this, to give us some feedback. So there are 3 light poles over on Via Sociega, Avenida Sociega, between Gate 10 and Via Carrizo, that have been fitted with 3 potential new light fixtures. And just so you know, they're separated, because if we put all 3 of them together, how would we be able to tell which light was working the best? So the whole motivation right now with this is safety. We're very interested in having people visit that area tonight through Friday. It's a pretty short feedback period, but there are some reasons for that because of the way it fits into some other business that the board has to do, so they can keep this rolling. And then if you would like to issue some input, or if you have any questions that could be answered either by our maintenance M&C department or possibly even the vendor, Siemens, we want to hear them. So if you go to lagunawoodsvillage.com and send your feedback, we'll be bringing all that together and taking it to the board. If you'd rather just write it down and drop it off, you can drop it off at the concierge desk. It's the first time we've tried this. I believe that by the time we do it again, you will be doing this through your resident portal, because that's coming. It's right around the corner. So it'll be even one less step. You'll just log in and leave your comments. So again, it's just for the next couple of weeks. But I think it might be interesting to people that we ran a drone before these were installed yesterday at walking height to see what the street looks like. And then we'll be running it again now with the lights. So it'll give us a good feel for before and after.
So I'm going to ask you a question. So here I am, I'm a resident, I decide to drive there. So what is my comment supposed to be? It looks good. I didn't like the fixture. Doesn't seem any better to me. What kind of comments are we looking for?
I think it's, again, we don't want to limit people, but some of the questions that I have heard from people in these meetings are, is one of them more energy efficient than the other?
Okay.
I think they've taken a lot of that into consideration. Is there a cost differentiation? I mean, these are the kinds of things, these have all been thought of by the committee, but I think they're very realistic questions that could come from residents. And the other thing is it gives residents an opportunity to really participate in the process.
Okay. All right.
So-
And the thing is that we have, this is a reserve expenditure, and we have been putting money aside. You know, we knew that this was going to be coming up, but we had put money aside last year. We've had put money aside the year before in our energy component, and we have money in for it this year. So it's not like a surprise expense where how are we going to do this? And we actually have in the amounts we put in our so-called mental budget, the creme de la creme, the Mercedes-Benz or whatever the best, the Tesla of the lights. And we don't know which are going to be the best ones. That's going to be up to our staff, the company that we hired, and comments. So this is a little bit different, but we have somebody behind you who has a question. So come up and ask the question. You can come up to the mic because we can't hear you if you say it from there.
I can sit
Give
back
your
there.
name and manor number, please.
Merle Intner, 307-2A.
Okay.
Is there a description of the lights that are going to be shown?
Eileen?
No, that's a good question, actually. That's why we love it when you come to meetings.
my
But they're
first
labeled, right now, they're just labeled A, B, and C.
Could we
But
get a
we
description?
can certainly get that, and I'll tell you
And-
where we'll put it. Okay, so we'll post it. Remember when we went news, and then you saw the breeze? We'll post it so that it's there. So
But-
you can go there and read the description. I think that's probably the most efficient way to do it.
But because you're here and you care, we're going to take your email address
Right.
and send it
We'll
to
send
you
it to you.
specifically.
Okay,
Yep,
on mine.
okay, perfect.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, so we're going to do that. Uh-oh,
One
security.
other comment.
Oh, yeah, and that's fabulous. The thing is that we love that our residents have so many experiences in their life. So, maybe you'll decide, maybe you want to be part of our energy committee because we ask people to come as advisors because, I'm not an electrician, so, I mean, all I could do is like be in charge. So maybe you could help us on this, but your comments are welcome and thank you.
I'd love to.
Security's here. Uh-oh. And Kush, you're on the Energy Committee. Can you make sure that you get his name? Of course. Because Kush is on M&C and Energy, because we can invite you to our next meeting.
Okay, one of the comments, I was going to make it later, but
Well,
this is
go right
more
ahead.
apropos. About 2 meetings ago, you were talking about the lighting, and you brought up the AMA article.
Right,
And I researched that since I was in that's my background.
right.
And the article is from 2016, and it encompasses more than street lighting. It's really, it's meant for homeowners and the use of different color renditions. And it's in kelvins is how they rate
Correct.
lighting. And somebody in that particular meeting was talking about preferring a low Kelvin rating, which is like 3,000. That gives you a yellow light, and since I'm kind of older than normal people around here, but back in the days, Long Beach was using low sodium sulfite lighting, and it gave you a yellow light. And the problem in the yellow light is that visually it's not very, you can't really see too many things as well as lighter light or whiter light. And they got the idea from fog lights. Remember the old fog lights were always yellow? And, but it turned out that it wasn't a very good application. But the city went ahead and did all this stuff and installed them. Right now, the Kelvin is very important for lighting. And when you consider Braille Institute, who uses lighting because it's obviously their importance, because when they show up to their meetings and so on and their classes, some of the people are not fully blind, but they're partially blind, and they need the best lighting possible. So I go way back in those days when I learned that full spectrum lighting was really the answer. It's the balance of the kelvins. It's around 5,000 kelvins.
So we want you to obviously go see the lights, give your input, and talk to Kush.
Okay,
All
as
right.
long as if I can get the information.
Eileen will take care of it. She's very efficient. Okay?
Oh, you're
Thank you
welcome.
very much. Okay, so at this point, thank you, Eileen, for all that you've done for this. And we are now going to move over to the open forum, which is where the residents are asked or welcome to come up and talk about whatever they could talk about as it relates to Third. You are given 3 minutes. When you come up, please give your name and manor number. We generally don't address your comment right after you come up. We list them all down, and then afterwards, the board will either try to get back to you, our CEO or COO will be able to answer you, or if not, we will make sure that we have the information to get back to you on an individual basis.
Are there any agenda items? We didn't discuss that.
What agenda items?
We didn't approve the agenda.
We certainly did. We approved it a long time ago, like this, instead of like this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, even though I'm sick, John, I'm trying to follow the order of the package. Otherwise, Cheryl will let me know. Okay, so the first speaker, please, Cheryl.
Our first speaker is Delphine Feynman.
Hi, my name is Daphne Feynman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the wonderful job you all do. I have a little bit of a problem.
Is her mic on?
Pardon?
No, okay. It didn't,
It's
okay. Okay.
I live in Via Dicha. I recently got a ticket, but I've had that ticket taken. I went to traffic school. The problem is on the corner of Sociega and Bahia Blanca. About 2.5 years ago, I asked if there was a possibility of having a stop sign put in that position there on the corner. And they said they'd look into it, but I never heard any more about it. This year, a woman was killed in that same area. They have the growth of some of the trees and bushes in that particular situation. I mean, it was just ridiculous. You could not see cars coming up on the street. So you come out of Bahia Blanca, you cannot see what's coming up on that other corner. There is no stop sign there. You come out, and halfway across, you see that, oh my God, there's a car coming out of there. They really should put a stop sign there and take away all the shrubbery. The shrubbery does not belong in that position. If you cannot see who's on the other side of the shrubbery, you're going to have another person killed. And I did report it 2.5 years ago and told them. Now they have cut it down. Last week, after I complained, they cut it down, but not good enough. It's got to be taken away. And there should be a stop sign put in that position before something else tragic happens.
So thank you very much. I'm sure that we have the address information, so I'm sure when this is over, our CEO will be addressing your comment. And thank you for caring.
Did I give my address?
Yes, Cheryl? Yeah. Yes, we did.
5587 Unit B.
Thank you very much.
Okay, our next speaker is Gary Shapiro.
Good morning.
Good morning. Gary Shapiro. My manner is 2343D. Sometimes I say D as in David. When I call a guest in, they'll say, D as in boy? I go, no, D as in David. I'd like to say this was my first meeting, but as United pointed out last week, I'm not a member of them, I'm a member of Third. So here I am again. And I guess you're quite familiar with the dryer situation, and that's what I'm here to address. I have concerns about having one dryer removed from my laundry room, number 248. We had 4 washing machines and 3 dryers. Now we have 4 washing machines and 2 dryers. I'd like a third one in there. I guess I have to pay the 25 cents for 20 minutes. I haven't yet noticed my HOA getting any lower because of not having to pay the laundry assessment fee, but I'll have to check that. And I'm just here to get my feet wet in the coming to the board, expressing myself, and letting you know.
Thank you very much.
I'd like another dryer.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening.
Next, Cheryl.
Okay, our next speaker is Merle.
You already spoke. Oh, you want to speak?
Yeah, I'm getting used to this. At first, you guys look really scary. You're very handsome, beautiful looking, but it's scary to be in this position. We're here as a group because we have that dryer problem, as the other gentleman has stated. I had researched, well, let me take you back. We used to have 3 dryers, and we're down to 2. And I read a comment in the flyer here, and it said that you had chosen the larger dryers because you felt it would be more efficient. And in a way, it is more efficient, but for a different reason. The background in the dryer is the fact that the amperage that is needed for a dryer is 30 amps. The old dryers were 30 amps. The heat level is the same as the new dryer as the old dryer. So when you put your towels in there, it takes the same amount of time as it did before. The only difference is the drum's bigger and it's easier to use, and there's a lot of nice advantages, and it's higher up You don't have to bend down for a person like myself. That's a really good blessing. I had called Maytag, which is Whirlpool, and because of my electrical background and everything, I talked to their technical department, and I explained the situation. They said that it doesn't dry anything faster. It just gives you more volume to put more towels in there. So when you put more towels, it takes longer for more towels than the old way of a smaller dryer. So there's no advantage as far as quickness. Time takes longer if you have more towels in there. And so right now, a load would take like $1 worth, and that's 20 minutes a quarter, so that's 20 times 4. And so anyways, what I would recommend is another dryer there because it's really necessary. We have 4 washers, and right now we had the advantage of getting 4 washers into 3 dryers. Everything worked out really good. A lot of people like their clothes, unlike some of my younger siblings. They put everything on high, and they think that's a good way of going. That's not a good way of going. You have to lower the temperature, as you can understand, on certain items to keep it from becoming 3 sizes smaller.
Your time's almost up.
Okay, anyways, I would recommend a 3rd dryer because the logic doesn't work out of saving anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Nadine Missner.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
everybody.
Nadine.
And I'm actually at 3071B and share a laundry room with Merle. And like the 2 gentlemen already that have spoken, really we find it very difficult where if you're having 4 wash machines, especially 4 people are washing laundry at the same time, 2 people using 2 of the dryers, what happens to the others? They're just sitting in the washers until the dryers are done. And I know that all of you did your homework, and it's not we don't even mind paying the money, but we basically, it's just such an inconvenience to try to get our clothes dried. And we really encourage all of you to go back to it because we're not alone. We're basically representative of other areas, I'm sure. In fact, there's several people that couldn't be here this morning, and I can give you the names and unit numbers that asked that we at least speak on their behalf.
And are these other, excuse me, I'm just going to ask you this, these other people also share your laundry room? Okay.
Yes.
And we'll respond to this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. And I honestly, I don't know what, I know it's a big cost to go ahead and put an extra dryer in every laundry room, but from a few of the articles of people responding to the Globe, I know the issue does pertain to everybody, and I hope that you will reassess that, look at that, and a lot of people are older than myself, and it's difficult for them to judge and balance and everything else as far as drying times. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, our
Dennis.
next speaker is Alfred Missner.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Alfred.
Good morning, board members. Good morning, all of those watching at home. My name is Alfred Meisner at 3071 B as in boy. Imagine my delight when I heard that the board was considering some changes to the laundry rooms. I always felt it a little odd that we had 4 washers and only 3 dryers, but at that time we were able to mix things around, put a couple in each dryer, make it work. But as my wife had mentioned, and as many of our fellow homeowners, and I please encourage all of you at home to call in and express your views about your disappointment with only having 2 dryers. But basically, there was a letter that before I even saw this meeting that I pulled off from the web. So I was able to pull that off and print off a single page. And I noticed that you were very nice to have that same copy here, and I didn't even have to bring that. So on page 10 of the article, what I wanted to mention, this was an article from GRF. They say the third board voted to reduce the number of dryers because the new ones are anticipated to require less drying time. We've already heard that that's not true. Obviously, whoever made those decisions may not do laundry, but who knows? I don't know who made those decisions about taking away one of our dryers. But I was ecstatic, hoping that we were going to get now 4 dryers instead of 3, so that each washer had its own dryer. Because someone from one unit doing one load of laundry, another unit doing a load of laundry. That's very reasonable with the number of people living around the laundry room 308. So obviously, they cannot do that with just 2 dryers. The other thing is, I know that you increased the price, and this is another subject, but if money is such a concern here with drying times, why not go back and charge guests that use our gym and our pools if you need that money? There's, another reason there to look at some of those choices, because, everyone can choose to play
You have 39
play
seconds
golf.
left.
Everyone can choose to do all the activities, but activities of daily living, like trying to do your laundry and trying to keep clean, is difficult. And I'm young. A lot of older people have a tougher time. And I've talked to many of my neighbors, including Fritz Erotic at 3069C, Denise Gabbard at 3067C,
18 seconds.
Mary Barrows at 3068B, who is here with us today that didn't want to speak. But this is a big issue, and please, everyone at home, contact your board members and tell us what you think. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Sue Deering.
Good morning, Sue.
Hi, Sue Deering, 3197C, and I just realized that this is, the item that I'm speaking about is actually on the consent calendar. So am I out of line speaking in the public forum?
Yes.
So can I speak later when it comes to, when the consent calendar comes up?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Marvin Rochich.
Good morning, Marvin. We haven't seen you for a while. It's good to see you.
Had a few things going in the summer.
Okay.
Anyway, Marvin Rowich.
We hope it's something nice you're here to say.
55103B, which is a 3-story building. Just a short thing about the dryer. What I was amazed to see that these commercial dryers do not have the drying sensor that every domestic drying device has in your home. It can tell when the clothes are dry, and then it stops. This is all timed, which means you will never have any consistency whatsoever in how long it takes for it to dry, because this is all timed. And I'm going to quit that, but the big problem with the dryer is they don't dry the clothes. That's the main problem.
Okay, if you have, it will just know what building you're in and what floor you're talking about.
It's been reported.
It's been, and we'll,
that was reported immediately after they were put in. That came up very quickly. But the main reason I'm here, one of our residents has a manor that's close to the stairway of the building. They're on the 3rd floor. This person has very severe asthma, which could be deadly in her case. And people sit on the chairs and close by there smoking cigarettes. And believe
that's
it or not,
against the rules.
well,
That's
I know
against
it's
the
against the rules,
rules.
but there's I don't see a no smoking sign in that area. And
Okay, I mean, and I shouldn't interrupt, but we don't put no smoking signs around because basically we would have to have them everywhere. And it is, we've, actually, most 3-story buildings, because I myself live in one, have notices on their bulletin boards about the smoking rules of the community and the smoking rules of the city.
well, there are people that follow the rules that they know about, and others that don't know the rules. And there are people who don't live here, who don't see those. And these are, workers and other people, including some of the personnel, which I won't go into. But anyway, It's a very serious problem for this lady, and there should be a very highly visible no smoking sign in that area. Like building, commercial building, no smoking within 25 or 30 feet or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marvin.
Okay, our next speaker is Daniel Puring.
Good morning.
Good morning, honorable members. My name is Daniel Brown, living at 3141C. I would like to address the issue of this in consent calendar. Therefore, I request you to speak later.
I didn't quite understand. what you
Okay, the issue I want to address is this in the consent calendar.
Okay, all right, so
I-
then you can, we will let you speak later.
Okay, thank you.
Next.
Okay, our last speaker is Chris Collins.
Good morning, Chris Collins, 3306Q. I'm here to bring you a little update on the work of the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village. And this one has to do with some of the things that the foundation is able to do for people that have some needs for emergency care measures. And as we know, emergencies do happen. And, the foundation is really, really committed to being able to help people age in place, and we're concerned about promoting resident safety. And there are some things, some issues that could be even life-saving if people have these devices. So the three items that the foundation has is able to help with if people have an emergency. We can pay for medical alert systems to maintain independence, because that's a really important thing, as we all know. We can also pay for the care ambulance policies, because affordable care for ambulance transport is really important, because it can be exorbitantly expensive even when you have copays. And then the third thing is earthquake kits. And there's things in there like water, nutrition bars, blankets, flashlights, all those sorts of things. So unfortunately, there are some residents that are unable to afford these. And the foundation strongly, strongly believes in providing access. So, and these things should be available to those with a financial need. And of course, we only handle these needs, we only pay for these things if a resident has gone to social services and has been vetted by them, and it's been determined that they do have that need. So we really are very committed, as I said, to making these things available, and we have this commitment to really maintaining the well-being of our residents and having them be able to age in place and with some safety measures. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Chris. So today we're have a little bit different because we're going to have a speaker here. So we're going to try to move things along quickly. So as far as the stop sign needed, I'm sure that our CEO is going to, probably has already looked into it. So and thank you very much for that, because it's very important. As far as the dryers go, and for the number of dryers, we really try to be perfect. And there was a situation where we knew for a fact that they had 2 dryers and they were just replacing them with 1. So if we have made an error, could you imagine? If we haven't done something correctly, we could always fix it. So we have to, I'm not promising that, but we will definitely, I know, Kush, we will look into this, because a lot of the decisions that we made were based on the volume, because we know how much volume comes out of the washers, et cetera, et cetera. So we will definitely look into it, and we thank you for bringing that to our attention, because we know when we said we wanted to, our goal was to replace like for like. not to go in and say, oh, let's not have it anymore. So we will look at it and we will try our best to fix it. So Kush is in charge of that. If you ever have any problems, so he's the one. And as far as the smoking goes, I don't think we can run around and put no smoking signs everywhere, but I think it would be a really good idea for Eileen to publish something again, reminding people about our smoking rules, and also for all of us, what is our line that we say? If you see something, say something. Not that we want anybody to be tattletales, but if somebody is smoking, a lot of us smoked in our younger years. We should report it because it is really dangerous to people's health. So we should really look out for that. So other than that, I believe that we've covered the dryers. We have a lot to cover. The lights we talked about, the stopping. So now we're going to move on to our speaker.
Quick question, do you have a timeline for making a decision on that?
You'll talk to Kush, and we try to, but move is, so, in any case, so a very important thing that we've been working on, and Jack, who is our treasurer, but also very concerned about our money, is water. And although we don't take water, I can't say seriously, but, water is part of our assessment. But we're all responsible for our water use because we pay for the water. Not only do we pay for the irrigation water, but we pay for the water that we use. So at this point, Jack, do you want to say something?
Very little. I'm going to turn this over to Lynn.
Lynn?
Yes, Lynn has been working with the Landscape Committee, and we have been talking about water in terms of money. It's costing us a great deal of money. And I am very pleased to present two people from the El Toro Water District that are going to walk us through how we can save water and save money in our pockets. I'm losing my voice.
Good morning. I'm Catherine Freshley, Director on El Toro Water District, a resident of Third Mutual. And for many years, I sat in your position, so I realize all the issues you're going through. And I want to thank you for taking the, for inviting us, but also for your service to the community. And, although we've had a lot of snow and a lot of rain, living in California, we still have to be water wise. And so the purpose this morning, and I want to thank the board for allowing us to make this presentation, which hopefully will help all the residents get a better understanding of what we can do together to maintain the lower level of water usage that we have accomplished as we work through the drought, because we don't want to go back to the old practices. That doesn't help us as a community, and it doesn't help us in the water district, and it doesn't help us, all of us in Southern California. So with that, Sherry, who's our Director of Public Relations for El Toro, has a presentation to put forward, and hopefully you'll find educational and I think informative. Thank you. Sherry?
Hi, thank you for having us. I'm going to get right into it. See if I can do this and see it at the same time. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is that Third Mutual Community has saved over 236 million gallons of water from 2013 to 2018. That was about 43.9%. About 38% was due to the recycled water irrigation conversions, and about 5.5% was indoor conservation. We must continue to conserve to ensure availability of water for the future generations and to comply with the upcoming California state regulations. It's important for every individual to continue to do their part to help save water, and we want everyone to make water conservation a California way of life. So I'm going to breeze through these. I have a bunch of different ways that people can save water, and maybe one thing out of all of them, someone can do something extra to save water. You can designate 1 glass of water per day for drinking water, so you don't have to keep washing glasses, or use 1 drinking bottle to fill up with water. You can keep a pitcher of water in the refrigerator to save from running the tap to get it cold. Defrosting foods in the refrigerator instead of running water over them. Soaking pans to clean instead of rinsing while you're cleaning them. And important is to use the garbage disposal sparingly. There are many things that aren't supposed to go down the garbage disposal, like coffee grinds and eggshells and fruit and vegetable skins that will cause, and grease that will cause clogs later on down the road, or can cause. When you're hand washing dishes, use a sink full of water instead of running water. Scrape food off plates instead of rinsing them with water. Use leftover water from cooked or steamed foods to use on a nutritious soup. Run the dishwasher when it's full. Filling a bowl with water to wash off fruits and vegetables. Install water-saving aerators on all your faucets. Taking a 5-minute shower instead of a bath, you can save up to 1,000 gallons a month. Turning off the faucet while washing your hands, brushing your teeth while you're shaving. Some people can use a bucket in their shower while they're waiting for the hot water to get there. I know sometimes that's a problem. If you have houseplants or plants right outside, you can use that water for that. When you're shampooing your hair, you can turn the water off while you're doing that. The toilet is only designed for the 3 Ps, pee, poop, and toilet paper. It is not to be used as a trash can. That is important, and it will save water.
And that is a great one. We talked
great.
about that, so if you blow your nose.
Yeah, do not throw the tissue in the toilet and flush it. Throw it in the trash can. Very important. Leaks are important to check your toilets and your flappers. A lot of times it's just the flapper that has to be replaced. And really important, I know in Laguna Woods Village, is using a broom instead of a hose to clean your patios, sidewalks, and driveways. We've gotten many complaints over the years because of that. And using a car wash that recycles water to clean your car instead of at home.
And we don't permit individuals to wash their cars.
Oh, okay, so they can't wash their cars at all? Okay.
I mean, unless they use one sponge, I guess.
Okay.
No, we don't.
Well, you've-
and a little bucket, but no.
So you've replaced washers and dryers, correct?
No,
Just dryers?
we replace washers and dryers in the common areas, but individuals have washers and dryers in their own units.
Okay.
So the ability to get a rebate on that, you could talk
Right.
about, because
Okay.
a lot of people have their own washers and dryers.
So matching the size of your laundry load to the correct water level or running them when full is important for washing machines. The walk-in bathtubs, they hold between 40 and 80 gallons of water compared to a standard bathtub that holds 25 to 45 gallons. So our suggestion is, if you need to use them, just fill them up with the water that you need. Don't go overboard. So, and then another important,
Yes?
I lost my train of thought.
Oh, I thought you.
So when you're
I thought you fell-
purchasing-
we thought you fell asleep.
Just on television.
That's all right.
So when you're purchasing new products, like a washing machine or a shower head or faucets, looking for the water sense label is really important because it can save water, and then also the Energy Star label can save energy. So yesterday began Fix a Leak Week. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. The Environmental Protection Agency has listed a bunch of facts on leaks. Approximately 1 trillion gallons of water is wasted each year. Now, this is across the United States. An average household leaks nearly 10,000 gallons of water per year. A leaky faucet can, at the rate of 1 drip per second, can waste more than 3,000 gallons per year. A shower leaking at 10 drips per minute wastes more than 500 gallons per year. And replacing an old toilet with a WaterSense model toilet can save up to 13,000 gallons of water. Now that is for a family, so roughly probably 6,000 gallons in Laguna Woods Village. And so it's really important now to check faucets, shower heads, toilets, under the sink, dishwashers, and clothes washers to see if you have a leak. Even a little leak adds up over time.
And if you have a leak, you can contact resident services, and we have chargeable services, and you can have a plumber come out, one of our staff members come out and fix your leak. And I say this personally, I just had this happen, and it is very cost efficient, as opposed to if I called a plumber from the outside. And our staff is doing a really good job. They put their little boots on when they come into your house so they don't dirty your carpet. And we're very, very efficient. So if you have a leak, it's not like a big scary thing now, because it used to be, and like, what plumber am I going to call? Where am I going to find a plumber? We can contact resident services, and our staff comes out, and it is a very reasonable charge.
That's a great resource. to have.
Sherry, how would we know, for example, we had a leak in the toilet?
Your cleaning lady will tell you. That's what mine told me.
Sometimes after you flush it, you'll hear it continually run and run and run. That's a leak. Sometimes you can hear and sometimes it's really faint, so you have to get up close to the toilet to hear that there is a leak, so.
Okay.
And
the
if you
blue
can't
tablets?
hear.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, so then the blue dye tablets. I believe all the building captains have the blue dye tablets, is that correct?
Lynn, do you hide?
And I just brought her some
Oh.
more today.
We don't have them yet.
Not yet, okay.
They will after today.
So the building captains can give you a little 2-pack dye tablet. So you put that actually in the tank, and then you wait probably 5 minutes, and if the blue goes into the bowl, that means you have a leak. Most of the time, it's just the toilet flapper that's leaking.
So if you don't live in a building that has a building captain, and you wanted to get a blue tablet, what would you do?
Would you like some here?
No, I'm asking, I'm going to ask Siobhan or Jeff. So could they go to the concierge desk and get them?
Yeah, we could leave we could leave some with you at the concierge desk so that people can pick them up if they, for those who do not live in a 3-story.
Right.
Right, because
in a
other people
3-story
have
building.
toilets.
No.
I hope it's.
Pardon?
Ernesto has something to say.
Yeah.
No, he's running. All right, so the basic thing is if you don't live in a 3-story building and you want to get the blue tablet, we can have them made available by, like, later this week?
Yep.
At the front desk here in the community center. Okay.
Who would you like me to give them to when we bring them up?
The concierge.
They'll know.
Yeah. Isn't there who's Teresa? Is Teresa the person? She's
Okay.
Teresa is she like the head concierge? Yeah.
Okay,
Teresa.
we will bring them up. to
She's
Teresa.
good.
All right. So next, we're going to talk about residential rebates. There are 2 indoor rebates currently. El Toro Water District supplements the regional program. So right now, for premium high-efficiency toilets that are 1.06 gallons per flush or less, there's a rebate of up to $100. And then for the high-efficiency clothes washers, there's a rebate up to $200. You can go to etwd.com and then go to conservation and residential rebates, or you can go directly to ocwatersmart.com and look for the residential rebates. There are also eligible models on the website, which I encourage people to look at before they go out and purchase one to make sure that you can get a rebate on the toilet that you choose.
So I'm going to have to throw something in here now.
Sure.
So if I'm a resident and I don't want to go shopping to buy a high-efficiency toilet, but I want to contact resident services, Siobhan, you better be ready with this answer. And I want to contact resident services because resident services has high-efficiency toilets. I could do that. And then but how would I get my rebate? I would still do that. Make this good. I always have to have a trick question. Ernesto's running up. All right, we want to make this an interactive experience.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. So if I'm a resident, and if I wanted a high-efficiency toilet, I call resident services. I say I would like 2 toilets. Could you deliver them and install them? So who fills out my rebate paperwork?
That's the correct process.
Who?
Well, the resident services, they would, as they make a notation in there when the toilets get delivered, we would process that for you.
Oh,
through-
wow,
yeah,
one-stop
yeah,
shop.
Yeah, so it would be not high efficiency, but low flush, I believe you're referring to? Yeah.
Well, they're calling them high efficiency. So
As
then,
long as the toilets are an eligible model, they could get a rebate.
so then if you, I'm not done, come back. So if I order the toilets and then it's taken care of and and then residents, then your staff does the paperwork?
We would work on the paperwork for you, yeah.
Okay, but then we would pay the full price, but the rebate would come to your house. Is that correct?
That is the process.
Okay.
And Sherry, could you send me a copy of the links?
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
But all of this information that you are telling us about is going to appear in yet another wonderful article that is being done by our communications person who's in the back hiding. But, so, because this is fabulous information, thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Wait, excuse me, Reza, go ahead.
Is the same process applies to clothes washer?
I would say no, because we don't install clothes washers. I mean, internally, because we don't have correct, or not, we don't have he doesn't have toilets are pretty ordinary. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but, but we don't have a selection of washers or dishwashers that we install, so.
So the resident would have to go out and purchase a clothes washer, have it installed, and then they would have to apply for the rebate online.
Is there a rebate for dishwashers too?
No, there is no rebate for dishwashers. But I will take your suggestion back to the people that do the regional program.
Okay.
And one other thing I want to add, if a resident fills out an application online for a rebate, the areas are marked with asterisks that they need to fill in. There is one that says, put a copy of your water bill. The residents in Laguna Woods Village do not have a water bill. There is no asterisk next to it, so they do not need to put that in. So that's really important.
Okay, excellent, thank you. All right, so is there anything else?
I got 2 more slides.
Okay.
There is a home water use calculator that we will give you the links that you can put in the article. It takes people into a interactive graph that can tell you how to save water in your home in different areas. It's a great resource, so I'll get you guys that link. I won't go into detail about it. And then if you witness water waste, you can call us at El Toro Water District or go on our website and we have send a report and you can do it anonymously and then we will follow up on that request.
So I'm going to ask Siobhan this. So if somebody witness water waste would be see something, say something, and somebody's outside washing their car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Should we contact?
I would contact security first. They can come out and document the situation, and then we can work with the water district.
Okay, so we'll still try to keep it internally so
Okay,
that we can
that's
try
Okay.
to monitor and monitor things in here. Okay? Yes,
And,
Reza?
Any suggestion? on
Could you use your microphone, please?
Are there any suggestions?
Is it on? Reza?
Oh, sorry.
Any suggestion on water heaters, saving energy and water?
No, the only thing I would suggest would be to get an Energy Star model or WaterSense model. So, and I know they have tankless models now.
But there is no rebate?
There's no rebates for those right now.
Thank you.
And then my last slide is we have quite a bit of website resources that we will give you the links to, like saveourwater.com, bewaterwise.com, the EPA.gov /WaterSense, and OC Water Smart. And that is it.
Thank you very much. This was wonderful. And thank you wait, Bunny has her hand up, so don't go down
I
yet.
just have a question.
Sure.
Okay.
I was interested in finding out devices that would help me, well, let me explain. I have a Labrisa, and the water heater is a long way away. And so I was interested in knowing what devices I could use to help the water get to my faucets and everything faster.
So we do not have any suggestions for hot water on demand systems like you're talking about. You would have to contact a plumber or someone like that to get information on those. Because yes, you can have them installed and they are costly, but they also use a lot of energy. So there's, yeah. Now maybe Ernesto has some information.
Well, he's standing there, so
Oh, he's
he
right there.
either
He
wants
can
to
answer
come
your
up and
question for you.
sing, or he has something to say.
Just a couple of suggestions. There is, first of all, I think the first suggestion was the right one, call a plumber. But there's a recirculating pump that's available that recirculates the water within your system and keeps that water hot, on demand. The other system that's available is what it's called an on-demand system, which is a tankless water heater, essentially. We don't recommend that, particularly if, we allow it, however, you need to go through manner alterations because it draws considerably more energy than your regular water heater tank, and your panel may not be adequate to support that. So those are the two systems that are available out there, and your plumber can go through the details with you.
Okay.
Okay, so, yes, Reza?
I used to live in East Coast where it's cold, and Baltimore Water District and Baltimore Gas and Electric provided services on giving the jackets for the water heaters. They put jackets around it in order to reduce the system comes up all the time, keep the water hot. And then also the installation of the hot water, the pipeline for the hot water within the house in order to keep the water at the temperature so you don't have to run the water in order to get it warm when it comes out of the faucet. That saves a lot of energy and water because most of the water heater proximity to the bathrooms and the showers are long. And I experienced myself that I have to wait like about a minute before the water gets hot, so that's water runs into the faucet with no use. So if we can provide those kind of education that people use jackets, and the building code include the jacket or the installation for the pipes, that may
Well,
help.
those would be all good things for the M&C committee to work on, and I think you're part of that.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I was going to
Yeah,
suggest.
all right, so we thank you very much. This was excellent, and I'm sure that if we have any questions, when Eileen is putting this fabulous bit of information together, she could contact you, and we thank you very much, Catherine.
Well, thank you very much.
And I'm glad
for-
I ran into you in the parking lot one day, and we sort of worked with Jack and got this done, so thank you.
Well, you're
Thank
welcome,
you,
and thank you
Catherine.
for giving us the opportunity
Oh,
to
wait a minute.
present. Oh,
Yes.
For those who are interested, I have a copy of the presentation, and I can make copies.
Thank you. Okay, so, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So today, we're going to start something new. Generally, at this point in time, we would have the VMS board report. And basically, the VMS board is the board of our business, and our business is VMS, is run by our CEO and our COO. So basically, they will report on what's happening with VMS. So we will just add the VMS board to report if there's something extraordinary that's going on, like they're hiring a new CEO. No, I'm kidding, that was a joke. No, but I mean, if there's any, because that's what they have to report on. But anything major that is going on with the board, they would report. But from now on, we're just going to immediately turn it over to our VMS activities, all of that as reported by our CEO. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, President and members of the board. About 6 items I wanted to update you on. The first one is a project that started in 2018 and is going to come to completion hopefully here in the end of March, which is just a couple of weeks away, and that is the Shepherd's Crook work on the walls. 2,750 feet, linear feet along Ridge Route is basically substantially completed, and we're just now going through the final touch-ups and making sure that any gaps that we missed because of some wall work and stuff like that is being completed. So that's really nice that it's going to be finished in March.
So if anybody sees anything that you think they
There's
missed,
a gap or something like that, but basically
who
we're just
should they
cleaning up.
contact?
Yeah, they can contact Ernesto directly, or they can contact our office.
Okay.
Second thing I wanted to mention was coming in April is our annual Village Games return. They are from April 8th to the 29th. They include activities, you name it, we have it. From archery, badminton, basketball, horseshoes, golf, equestrian activities, shuffleboard, bridge, great activities coming up. Registration, early registration, it ends Friday on the 22nd. Registration is $10. If somebody wants to register after that, from the 23rd through the 29th, it goes up to $15, and that's registration can be done at Clubhouse 1. Looking forward to all those activities coming in April. On Wednesday, coming up this Wednesday, Village Transportation Group, we're going to hold a workshop welcoming residents' input on the new transportation program. We're going to hold two different meetings, 11 a.m. at Clubhouse 1, main lounge, to get everybody's input about our transportation system. So we encourage everybody to show up for that. And then at 1:30 p.m., we're going to have it over at the towers, because obviously they're a big user of the transportation system. So we welcome all of our residents to come out and give us input on our system. The RFID gate retrofit update, gates 2 and 8 are closing in. We're hoping to have it by the end of the month completed. We obviously got a little bit of delay because of the rain. Hopefully the next couple of days we don't get too much rain that's going to slow that down, but we're looking at those 2 gates being completed by the end of the month, and then we'll start work on gate 3 and 7 as soon as that work is completed. So we're pleased that that's finally moving ahead. Item number 5 is we are going to start our 2nd annual Health and Wellness Expo is coming up. This is the 2nd annual. It will be held on Thursday, March 21st and Friday, March 22nd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days. So we're looking forward to that activity. Last year, the first event, we had a number of attendees. So in this time, the event is complimentary, and each day, the first 375 attendees will receive free cooling towels. So get there early, be involved, and I think Recreation Department's going to have a great activity and they have a lot of sponsors. So hope everybody will go out there and enjoy, get some information, and work hard on that wellness program. So we're excited about that. And last but not least, and this one's a past one, just wanted to acknowledge that we had our new pickleball courts, had their grand opening and ribbon cutting on last Wednesday on the 13th. A lot of people showed up, great turnout. I want to thank my staff, Ernesto, Brian, Eileen, everybody that coordinated putting it together. Siobhan did a great job of getting this thing back open. The new courts look great. And one of the cool things was one of our former village residents, Mary Rayner, and her husband, who were kind of credited as bringing pickleball to the village, were able to come back and be part of that event. So I want to thank her for that too. So, and that is the 6 items that I wanted to report, and that concludes my report for today.
Okay, thank you very much. And does our, a second, wait a second. Does our COO have anything that she wants to say? No, okay. So now if the board has any questions of our,
Yes, registration is also available in this building downstairs at the fitness center. I've already signed up for the
Okay.
Village Games.
all right, and Kush?
Jeff?
Yeah.
About this transportation workshop that you talk about. The 10:31 is.
The date is Wednesday?
Tomorrow.
No, what is the location for?
Oh, the location is Clubhouse 1 Main Lounge for the morning, 11 o'clock. And at 1:30 p.m., we're at the
Towers.
Worcester Hall at the Towers.
Thank you. That's
So there are no other, usually we're loaded with questions. We must be very quiet today. All right, so at this point, we would be voting on the consent calendar. And there are 2 people in here who have items on the consent calendar, which means that we have to technically move them off of the consent calendar and have them items of discussion when we get up to it. So could you, who are the two residents who have items on there? Could you please come up and identify what items you're here to discuss so we could remove them for now?
Sue Deering, 3197C, and I believe that we're both here about the same one, and that is A132, the recommend denial.
A1.
A1.
Okay, so we are going to, all right, so we'll call you back up. So we're going to be able to vote on the consent calendar with the removal of A1, which is going to be something we're going to discuss possibly at open session. It might be something that should be on closed session, so we have to hear. So do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar with the removal of A1?
I so move.
Second, okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? They're raising their hands, Cheryl, they don't care. All right, so the consent calendar has passed. All right, so now what we do have to do is, excuse me, you're leaving the room, Ernesto. Did you have something you wanted to talk to us about?
No, I was just here for any general questions on any of the programs that CEO mentioned.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll see you later. All right, so thank you. Thank you for doing such a great job. All right, so the item in question has to do with Architectural and Control and Standards Committee Report number 1, and it is 3200A. And according to our calendar, staff is recommending denial. And if staff recommends denial, and you're basically appealing staff's decision, you have to go, appeals are held at closed session. So we can put you on our, we can put you on our closed session agenda. But our closed session is, our meeting, is filled for today. So can you please meet with Steve here? And he will get you on our closed session agenda, because this is an appeal of our decision, of the decision of the committee. All right? Am I doing this correctly? All right.
And how will we do that?
You're going to meet with Steve, and he'll do it. He'll talk.
I know, but when can we meet?
Well, he will,
I'll arrange with a schedule.
right, so he'll contact you probably tomorrow. Yes, so he has your contact information, correct? You'll give it to Cheryl, and he can contact you, all right? Okay. Okay, all right, so now we have unfinished business. I'm going to turn this over to Roy.
Okay, we basically have only 2 resolutions. These resolutions have already been on 28-day review, and so we are ready for a final vote. 11A, revised alteration standard 32, deals with water heater relocation. The main changes: cabinets must match the exterior finish and material and color of the building. Water heaters located in the interior of a manor are required to install a leak detection device and drain pan per code. All water heaters which are older than 10 years of an indeterminable age or in disrepair require replacement. This is probably the most important requirement in this revised standard. And I'll tell you why. Because the majority of our leaks and the damage that our leaks cause are because of water heaters leaking without these things that help channel the water down a pipe instead of into the downstairs neighbor's building. PEX piping is allowed now per code. PEX is simply plastic pipes. They're very flexible, and they do not corrode, and they'll last forever. And if people are going to redo their pipes, that's the stuff to use. All new installations on the exterior must drain to the exterior as opposed to going inside a building. I move approval of this revised alteration standard 32.
Second.
Well, it has to be on 28 days.
No, no, no.
No?
This is coming off.
This is coming off
Oh,
28 days.
all right,
Already
okay,
been done.
thank you.
Yeah, who second? Kush, okay. All right,
So all those in favor?
Are we
Okay.
working on line?
no,
No, we're not.
no. And the second item, 11B, is the alteration standard plan review policy. And the main reasons for an alteration plan review policy: staff currently has 248 standard plans for alterations that do not require a variance from the Architectural Control and Standards Committee. Any variance from these standard plans now requires a variance from that committee. That committee may wish to reduce the number of variance requests and time for approval. Need policy for minor revisions to standard plans that can be approved by staff without a variance request: closets, windows, door style, or placement. I move approval of this alteration standard plan review policy.
A second.
Lynn?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
And there were no new resolutions.
Wow. Okay, so we are now up to the committee reports. The first report will be the report of the Finance Committee. Oh, my mic's not on. The first report will be the report of the Finance Committee. Director Conley.
Thank you. Do we have the slides here? Hello? Okay, through the reporting period, January 31, total revenue for the third was $2,881,000, compared to expenses of $1 million. Oh, it is on. I'm not on. Compared to expenses of $1,853,000. Can you hear me? Slide 2. The next chart shows the same figures from the income statements compared to budget. We can see the third ended the period better than budget by $1,020,000, and I remind us we're only at the end of the first quarter, so don't hold your breath. Slide 3, the most significant variances were attributed to outside services, timing. Budgets are spread evenly, and certain reserve expenditures will occur later the year, including building services replacement, roof replacement, and landscape revitalization. Utilities and telephone. Favorable variances resulted from less water usage, thank heavens, for irrigation due to rainfall. The rainfall helped. Materials and supplies, favorable variance due to timing of certain programs. Fees and charges for services to residents. Favorable variance resulted from more revenue received from chargeable services. Water heater replacement is an expanded service that has generated more revenue than anticipated. Miscellaneous, favorable residents variance resulted from residents' violations, specifically an illegal occupancy issue. Revenue is recorded when billed and may be in various stages of collection. Slide 4. We've added this new slide for a visual representation of those budget variances. The green bars to the right represent significant favorable variances mentioned above. The orange bar to the left represents a small unfavorable variance in compensation for exterior paint program, Slide 5. On this pie chart, we show a non-assessment revenues received to date of $195,000 by category, starting with our largest revenue generating category, fees and charges to residents, followed by interest income, resident violations, and so forth. Slide 6. On this pie chart, we see the expenses to date of $1.9 million showing that our target categories of expense are for employee compensation and utilities and telephones, followed by insurance, net allocation to mutuals, and so forth. In the last slide, slide 7, this chart shows how much our revenue went into operations, with $1,564,000 coming from assessments and $143,000 coming from non-assessment revenue. This is compared to operating expenditures of $1,467,000. After backing out depreciation, which is not funded through operations, we can see a bottom line operating surplus of $251,000. And that ends my report. And people interested in details, I encourage you to come to our monthly Finance Committee meeting.
Okay, any questions on the finance report? Okay, some things I'd like to bring up here on the resale report for Third Mutual. In February, we recorded 25 sales compared to 29 last year, so we're getting closer to closing the gap from what we've been experiencing. The monthly average is 28 compared to 27 last year, but it's too early in the year for that to really be significant. Total sales in volume of dollars, 11,345,000 recorded so far this year, compared to last year at this time of 10,704,000. So we're doing that well, and the average resale price is still going up. So far this year, average is $399,000 compared to $393,000 last year.
Yes.
The last item I'll draw your attention to is our leasing report. As it stands now, we are just a hair under 28% leased. In other words, that's 1,704 units out of 6,102. Okay, any questions on that?
Yes, I have a question. I came back just in time. Have we working with staff to audit the number of leases? Is that being worked on?
We haven't come up with a formalized an actual process yet. We just received information from our lawyer on different ways we might be able to pursue that.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about more of that in the closed session.
I brought that up with Carla Nesta the other day, and we're looking at it.
Right, well, I
It
mean,
isn't easy.
it's up
It's
to
not
us, though, to make the request of staff and ask staff to do this because it's a concern, because it's unbelievable to us that that number sits in the same place forever.
And it's high.
And it's, well, we know it's high, but we think it's higher. I have to interrupt this process a minute. I was advised by staff that we didn't do something correctly on the consent calendar. So basically, on the item that we removed, which is 1A, we basically have to vote on that. So we have to vote to have it back onto the agenda, then we have to vote on it so that we could appeal it. And as I recommended to our staff person who told me this, if we're ever doing something that is imperfect during the meeting, don't feel worried about letting us know, because perfect is only a goal, though we sometimes think it's a reality. So I need a motion to add this back to the agenda, and then we can vote on it and that's it. So
I so move.
So we are moving that we
Put it back on.
put the recommended denial of 3200A back on the agenda as the consent calendar, but it's a denial, which means we will be voting on denying it. Once that is officially done, then Steve can meet with the people involved and we can appeal. So if we didn't vote on it, they couldn't appeal it, and I did not do that correctly.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have the motion, we have the second. Does anybody have any questions before I make any other mistakes? No, okay. Okay, so all those in favor of the denial? All right, so, thank you very much. 6 years, I still haven't learned how to be perfect. Oh, good, what can I say? All right, in any case, and I'm sorry for the interruption, so now we're going to go to and thank you very much, Jack. And we're going to go to the report of the Architectural Controls and Standards Committee.
Okay, as you've seen, we had two items this time on items 10A1 and 2. We had a short meeting this last time. Nothing really significant came out of it, except that people are still not understanding that we do not invade common area just for reasons that a person may want to extend their patio or whatever. So the message is not getting out that way, at least to some people. So I would ask anybody that's going to be working with our people at Newcomers Orientation that you hit this subject very hard, okay? So that's what it's really coming down to. That's what's driving the denial. Jeff, did you have anything to say about that?
No,
Okay, Siobhan?
we'll work on that.
Okay. One thing with that, is there a meeting coming up with real estate agents soon?
We have a special task force that Mr. Hudson formed when he was CEO. We're meeting with that subset on Friday.
Oh, okay.
But it's not the entire group.
Oh, okay, okay. All righty. That finishes my report on architectural control. Let's go on here to the maintenance and construction with Director Bada.
Thank you, Steve. Most of the things that I had to say were already covered earlier in the meeting. But I will still repeat some of the things with little iterations. The pilot program for the street lights is beginning very fast, probably this week. So we would encourage everybody to go out and take a look at them and send their comments to info@lagunawoodsvillage.com, or they could send it in writing and drop it off at the concierge table outside. The second thing is that we finished with the installation of the dryers. We know that there were substantial lapses in the process, but most of them have been covered, and we are continuing to complete that to everybody's satisfaction. So also a part of the washers could not get pedestals because the washers were older than the pedestals could accept. So that's an issue. We know there are over 80 of those washers that did not get them.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know that Ernesto's worked very hard and we're getting refunds on the improper installation and refunds on the pedestals, but, you know, that we couldn't use. But, so we know that we're being very careful about not paying the bill until everything is reconciled and rectified. But as we move forward, if we put in a new washer, will we be putting that new washer on the pedestal?
It should happen because they have to be, as we perceived, that the washer and the dryer should be at the same height.
So the thing is we have to make that a procedure in M&C.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Can you purchase the pedestals? So they're just sitting here?
I don't think so, no.
I don't think
But
we
that
are going to pay for the pedestals that we did not use.
Correct.
So the new purchase process would be washers with pedestals to match the dryers.
Right. So we know, well, I don't know, and I'll ask staff, how do we just make sure that that's just going to be, you know, it has to be like a no-brainer, so to speak. New washer to replace washer, new washer goes on pedestal, unless it goes into the laundry rooms where some of them weren't being able to be put on pedestals because they were already on slight pedestals. So some board member 2 years from now, while we're not on the board anymore, is not going to be getting a different, so how does that just become?
Ernesto will memorialize it in his operating procedures.
Got it. I have to say, though, when you go into the laundry room now, and you see these two machines, you know, in the three-story buildings, up there like high, and it feels like you're really in a laundry.
Yeah.
It's actually, it looks very not bending over, whatever. So it was a very great idea for them to do that. It's unfortunate that it couldn't be 100%. But
It's going to happen.
Yep.
Everything has hiccups, and I think
this one had more than hiccups.
this
but
one
that-
had a major foobar, but it's okay.
Okay, well, that's good. So as long as we know that that's
Yes.
how it's going to be in the future, then that's good. Thank you.
And continuing on, we are going to continue with the cul-de-sac signs this year. We're going to have 122 new signs for 2019, or maybe a few more because we made an adjustment in the project that they brought up to our last meeting. And there will be a small leftover for 2020 to finish the cul-de-sac signs. It all depends on our budget meeting, how much we can do in 2020 and advance the building signs. And that's all I have for the third board.
But we're having a M&C pre-budget meeting where we're going to, this is before we meet with staff to go over the budget, where we're going to
Correct.
come up with our ideas
Right.
and our needs for M&C. So what we share those ideas with Ernesto so that we get it to be part of the budget. So other things that we've been thinking about or that are really important to us. And does anybody remember exactly when that meeting is?
22nd, I think? No,
I believe it's April 9th.
April 9th.
I believe so too, because it was before you took a day, it was before you were going on vacation.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
So, all right.
It is April 9th.
Okay. So, thank you very much, Kush.
Thank you.
What time? And who's next? Is somebody going next?
Yeah, on the golf cart task force, we are looking at some actions to be taken, but they are not fully developed, so stand by for more news.
Okay, thank you. And the report of the Landscape Committee, Director Jarrett.
Okay, as has been reported in the past, staff has a consultant working on the preliminary concept of the turf reduction, the turf modernization project. That will be completed soon. In about 2 months, the Landscape Committee will be getting a look at the renderings. And shortly thereafter, we're going to bring some residents in and let them look at what we have. So we would really like to get their feedback. We must pay attention to this issue of turf modernization. Last week, I drove around Irvine and Laguna Beach. I couldn't believe some of the beautiful, beautiful landscapes they have and that use very, very little water. And you talk about turf modernization, a lot of cities are doing it.
And actually, per the water meeting that we had with the water company,
right,
that's a rebatable action, especially in an area where you don't have recyclable water, which is gate 14.
Yeah,
So
that's
there-
rebatable up to 50,000 square
Right.
feet a year.
So that's going to be a big part of your presentation and the
Right.
value-added part of this, correct?
Exactly. The return on investment in that, because we use a lot of water, our water bill is very high in the irrigation arena. You may have read and heard in the press last week about that California's no longer in a drought. Well, we in Laguna Woods, we have to consider ourselves in a drought because our water situation is, they're going to bring us down, and I thought she would show that slide today, but she didn't, to where it's going to be, where we're going to be relegated to 55 gallons per unit per manor. And that's going to start here in a year or two. So we really have to be careful with our water. I want to tell you that this week I was visiting somebody in a 3-story building on the first floor, and they told me they heard a toilet leak from upstairs, and they've been hearing it off and on. And I want to tell you, I said to her, okay, well, I'm going to bring over these blue tablets. Can you bring them to that lady and have them put it in her toilet and give it a check? Well, come to find out, that particular 3-story building is in the highest tier of water usage. They have a really bad leak. and I think it's 2 toilets in that building. So I had the water board to bring me the tablets today so I could give this lady to pass out in that building. And I have extra ones, because when I brought them to the Gardenville Association last week, they were all given out immediately, and they didn't have enough. And the other thing that they took up immediately were the low-flow shower heads that were given out free. And they asked me to come over there. So the other thing we need to pay attention to that a lot of people don't realize is the water infrastructure. Our infrastructure, the pipes, not only the waste pipes in the streets, but the clean water pipes. And all these pipes have to be replaced. On the news just this week, I heard Los Angeles was having we know Los Angeles is having a really bad problem, but it's constant with them, and we're going to start having that problem too. So when we start upgrading the infrastructure, that means that we're going to pay. The water board's going to replace the pipes, but we, the customer, are eventually going to pay. So they're putting money in their reserves so that at some point in time, they're going to have to start replacing our pipes. And we do not want our assessments to go up, so that's why we're doing things like the turf reduction, that kind of thing like that. It was interesting that I'm glad that Eileen was taking pictures today, because I've been writing an article for water, and she's going to write an article for water. So when we combine our work together, we should have a really good article for the breeze coming up in April.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What pipes are the water company replacing? They do exterior pipes.
So they're not
They're
going to do it
mains.
now.
They're main. I don't want people to think that they're coming in, because I was all excited here for a minute that they were coming, that they were coming in and changing pipes.
No,
and
not in
their
our
exterior
manners.
pipes.
This
Okay.
is in the streets.
Right, okay. I
And
just
then-
didn't want anyone to have misinformation and
Right.
think
And about the herbicide project, that's coming along really well.
the test.
The test, exactly. The test for the alternatives for the Roundup. Landscape management staff should be able to come back to us within the next 60 days with a solution to recommend. In any case, we already know that it's going to be costly, because the thing with Roundup, they only had to put one application out there. With the alternatives, they have to put several applications out there, which means a lot of labor costs. So we're going to have to worry about those dollars out of our pockets, but we're not going to worry about that till we see the results of the tests. Last week, Landscape, we met with top management, and we went over the landscape budget. A lot of work, over $5 million for this year, but a lot of the money goes into slope. So what they did is they've gone out, they did a survey on the slope work to be done, and they put a package together, and it'll go out to bid for contractors. So contractors going to get that work for the slopes.
Is there, I mean, far be it from me to be a landscape person, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm from New York and we didn't have even like a tree on the block that I grew up on. So, but do they have a drought, do they have slope looks that are drought tolerant? Because that's what we really.
Do they have
really-
what?
Drought tolerant slopes. And I don't mean like if you go to Las Vegas, they have a slope with a metal, gorilla on it. I'm not talking about something like that. But I think that is probably one of the biggest things that we need is a look or a way to have drought tolerant slopes. So is that part of the plan?
There are.
And it is part of what
Well, we're evaluating.
we're
Yeah,
evaluating?
absolutely.
Okay, good, because that would be, because every time, because I remember last year, unbeknownst to us, they replanted the slopes and they were watering them.
Oh,
And we
gosh.
didn't know. So the thing is so that'll be good to have that come up.
Yeah, and another place where we're behind is the tree trimming. So they're going to be, they've worked with the union to allow for the contracts. We can do contracting for the tree trimming. So that
Contracted the work out.
contracting the work out, I'm sorry. Yeah, so there's a lot of work to be done, and if you have any questions after today, just come to the landscape meeting. next landscape meeting. Thank you.
Okay, and we are having a landscape pre-budget meeting also. This does not involve staff. This is our team working together and saying, why don't we have this? Shouldn't we have that? What do we think of this? What about this? And then we could present this information to staff. And the landscape pre-budget meeting is on
April 11th.
Friday, April 12th
Oh, no, you're right, 12th.
at 9 a.m.
Okay.
in the Sycamore Room. So anybody who has brilliant ideas, please, thank you. All right. Thank you very much, Lynn, for stepping up to the plate and being a new board member and taking over such a large and exciting committee. And I say that seriously. No. Okay, so the next thing is the report of the Laguna Woods Village traffic hearings. Director Frankel?
We had 44 violations, and 10 of which were parking, 4 of which were contractor parking, 9 of which were vehicle registration, 4 stop signs, 11 decal, 1 abandoned vehicle, 3 speeding, 1 RV lot, and 1 driver license. Of the 44, 1 was found not guilty.
Okay, thank you. And to go along with traffic and et cetera, if anybody has any concerns about an area where they might have asked for a stop sign or something, and it had been ignored because what should they, like the person came this morning and brought their request. We're not saying that everybody's requests are immediately immediately running out and putting it, but the thing is we want to seriously evaluate all of the safety issues. And if anyone has a request, who do they see?
They should direct them to the CEO's office, and we will handle
And
them.
how would they do that? They'd come to the front desk and leave a note?
They can come to the concierge desk and ask for Catherine Lassiter.
Okay, all right, because I know one of the residents always stops me while I'm walking the dog, and I haven't sent that one in, so, all right, yes, John?
One further comment, the next traffic hearing is tomorrow, and it's going to be a beginning opportunity for Annie, who is now going to share the responsibility for traffic hearings with myself.
And that's always an exciting experience, Annie. You don't have to stay on it. John is the only one who wants to stay on it forever. Usually we rotate people through it. Okay, so the next is the report of the Communications Committee, Director Bruninghouse.
The committee met last Wednesday, March 13th, and there needs to be a change. The next meeting is on May 8th, not May 9th. There's an error in the calendar. We had an interesting meeting. Of course, we reviewed Marcom's monthly marketing and communications report. Eileen gave that one. And we added communications for projects as a permanent agenda item. This is something that I think we probably wanted to do for quite a while. We have, 30, how many projects on the project log? Something like 30, 40?
Like
30, and so some of them are very significant, some of them are important. So what we want to make sure of is that we are always looking at, reviewing, and adding to our communications in the breeze and the blast and all of our other methodologies on projects that matter to the residents. We also reviewed Marcom's communication plan for the streetlight pilot. And it sounds like there's a lot of activity going on right there. I do want to report that the drone was in violation of federal policy. We had to apologize on that. You're supposed to file a flight plan before you fly the drone, and we didn't do that. So.
Well, who did that?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. Who didn't do it? Okay.
I don't think we're used to flying drones.
Well, but security's in charge of that, and they should
Yes,
know, if anyone
yes.
should know the rules
Yes.
and the law.
So we had fun talking about that. And then we passed a suggestion along to Marcon that they should develop a training program for residents
on how to use the resident portal.
Absolutely.
We've all been trained, the board's been
No,
trained.
we haven't. I haven't been trained.
You
I
were
was sick.
Well,
You opted out.
No.
we'll have to have a special session, Jeff,
Right.
Yeah, just
for Rosemary.
I already asked for it.
So again, we meet on May 8th at 1:30 in the boardroom.
When you're going over on communication, the communication for projects, that's very, very significant because we had a lot of, I mean, we really worked on the extermination project. And I hope that all of the work that they did also is valuable for United because they put that together. And then we had quite a few slips, but not intentionally, on the dryers. But, so we really have to work on that. But another part of communications is not only about projects, it's communications about stuff. Like if the, I mean, like the elevator maintenance is a project. But if the elevator, if they're going to be doing, resealing, like in my building today, they're resealing the floor, or if they have to do work in the laundry room, we have to know as part of our communications what the procedure is for communication to the residents for not necessarily emergencies, but needed work. So that has to be part of it. You know, what do they do? How do they do it? Because those are things that don't necessarily get in the newspaper or in television, but how do we let the people know? So that's a big part of it. So we have to make that be part of our.
Well, it is part of our purview, and Eileen, who is the director of that, our staff, started that as soon as she came on board. And she's been trying to work with the division directors to let her know and to have her put the communications together on a routine basis. And Siobhan, you may want to say a few more things about that because I think we're making good progress on getting the directors to feel comfortable giving their announcements to Eileen to get out to the residents.
Well, in some ways, but in some, she's just being ignored. Go ahead.
Actually, one of the first things Mr. Parker did when he came on board was make this a priority. So I think we're seeing much more cooperation. Plus, we have 2 new significant division heads in landscaping and general services, which is helping to facilitate that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, next committee is the Energy Task Force. Director Frankel?
There were extensive discussions regarding the criteria for the pilot for the streetlight program. I'll defer my comments on that to those who were selected to be given the opportunity to attend a special communications meeting which occurred subsequent to the M&C meeting on that subject.
And there was nothing else that happened at the task force?
The primary item was the extensive discussion regarding the pilot.
So, but have they determined who the new head of the task force is, who the new chair?
No, that has not been determined.
Okay. So the next meeting is on May 1st, and then I'm sure it'll be filled with adventure. Okay. The report on the Water Subcommittee, Director Connolly.
There is no other report except at the next Finance Committee meeting we're going to be talking about. That's a different subject. There is no report.
Okay, but we are having another meeting.
Yes.
All right. The Resident Policy and Compliance Task Force.
We met on, the committee met, our task force met on March 11th. Next meeting has not yet been announced, and the reason for that is that we have a small subgroup appointed by the president to look at the entire area of membership requirements. And this task force, once it has developed a set of recommendations, I believe it's chaired by Steve Parsons. Once it's developed a set of recommendations, they will come to the task force, and then the task force will make recommendations to the board. So we don't know when that's going to happen, so we haven't scheduled the next meeting. At our meeting, we approved staff recommendation for a new golf cart charging violation fee, and that'll come up in closed session this afternoon for approval.
We reviewed the current GRF estate policy, and the point here is that it is an estate sale policy, GRF's estate sale policy. It's quite comprehensive, and Chief Moy promised better oversight of the policy's implementation. We did have one incident where things got kind of out of hand. So the policy's good, we just need the implementation of it. And then we reviewed current co-occupancy requirements. We're not quite sure, again, that's probably going to come under membership review task force, or work group, I guess that's what that is. And so we wait to see what happens, and we'll announce the next meeting when we know that we've got a full agenda.
So if I'm walking down the street and I see a golf cart that has a 2018 sticker on it, what do I do?
You can call resident services during regular business hours and security after hours.
And they are supposed to?
They will investigate and take enforcement action.
And if it's still like that for 3 weeks later, then what do I do? Contact Siobhan. Because there's one in front of my building, and I've reported it like 3 times.
May I make a suggestion, Madam President? We all have, most of us have smartphones, except for John. Oh, he has one, he just doesn't use it. He keeps it at home.
So then he's smart.
But what I do typically is to take a picture of the golf cart or the car, making sure I get the license plate and making sure I get the...
And who do you send it to?
I send it to Tim Moy.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so the next is GRF committee highlights. And you only need to report for the committee that you're on if there's something to report. Goodbye, Stuart. Okay. So the first we'll start with is the GRF community activities. Director Bada?
That's me. It was a good meeting. It was on
March 14th.
March 14th. And I'd like to report that the drop-in lounge TV is going to be reinstalled, and with some restrictions on them. Pool 5, we've rescinded the request to put a shade on the pool. It was also discussed that there are several tree plots which are available to rent, and the tree plot fee has gone up from $30 to $50. Lastly, there was a recommendation to change the name of Clubhouse 4, but the motion did not go forward, and it's going to remain as Clubhouse 4. The next meeting is on May 9th.
Bunny, you're also on that committee. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, the one thing that I was impressed with is Brian introducing a comprehensive.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thanks. Go ahead.
A comprehensive staff training day. And I think this is very well needed. I commended him on doing this because one of the things that I think that is really good for staff is to understand customer service, especially in an HOA. And so I was very pleased with that.
Thank you, Bunny. Okay.
Question,
Oh.
Are there going to be any closures of any services during this training day?
Yes. If you want, I can.
No, that's, I'm sure that if there are any closures, it will be communicated by our communications team.
That's
Right,
Yeah.
but they're anticipating closures of all.
It's going to be a
facilities.
partial day.
Okay,
So
well-
it's not a full day kind of closure.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
All right, thank you. All right, Finance Committee, Jack?
Moving forward, I am curious about the allocation of fee revenues to the other associations. I don't see a clear formula for that, and I'd like to bring it up in the next.
Fee revenues.
Revenues such as charging for use of the community centers. What happens to the fees? How are they distributed or not?
Okay, well, I mean, we intend to have a meeting with Jeff regarding our concerns in that area. But the fees are collected and the fees are adjusted to the costs.
Right.
So there's we don't get any of the fees. The fees is the more fees that we would collect, the lower the cost would be. The only thing that we get is an allocation of how much it costs to run them.
I understand.
So what has to really be worked on is the understanding that we can't have so many costs allocated to the mutuals that
And-
GRF has to absorb.
And there is a maintenance expense we all pay.
Correct. All right. Okay, so is there anything you want to say about finance other than that?
Other than that, no.
Okay. There was no landscape committee meeting for GRF. So there will be one coming up in May. Wow. Okay, maintenance and construction, Director Bada? No, there was no meeting?
There was no meeting.
Okay. Media and communications, Director Jarrett. What, it says the wrong name on here?
No, it was the right name until we recognized that we actually have two GRF Media and Communications Committee meetings between our board meetings. One was just after and the other one was just before. So I wasn't at the February 26th meeting, but was at the March 18th meeting
So Lynn will do
yesterday.
February.
He's going to do it.
I'll do them both.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Okay. So we got our usual reports from the media group, Chuck. He's still dealing with residents who have problems with converting from analog to digital cable TV. He's still talking about anticipated increases in the amount that cable content providers are charging or going to charge for 2019. 25% is anticipated in the case of 2 Fox channels. Most of the rest are in the 10% range. We reviewed, Eileen presented her marketing communications report and emphasized that we are in the process of upgrading the docent program. I believe that Lynn sat on the interview committee for new docents. We're trying to standardize that program, and we are trying to provide more training to the docents, including retread training. Just because you got trained once doesn't mean that we stop. So I think we're going to hopefully increase that, the value of that program. And we learned at the March 18th meeting, which was yesterday, that they're planning to, on the 5th Thursday of the month, which only happens every quarter, every 3 months, they're going to have a docent tour just for real estate people. Because when real estate people get on board with prospective residents and residents, they tend to dominate the activity. So we're going to try that. And again, we reviewed yesterday the third streetlight plan for this week. Eileen gave her presentation, talked about the drones taking pictures and encouraging residents to go take a look at those streetlights and to get their comments either by email or in the box in the lobby.
Thank you very much. Mobility and vehicles, Director Frankel? There was no meeting in March.
Yes, there was.
It says the last meeting was February and the next one is April.
There has been a meeting since we last met.
Oh, okay.
We were invited, the members of the committee were invited to look at 2 new buses, and that occurred yesterday, and I'll be glad to share these with you at any time. We've also hired a consultant to review the bus program, which of course is an 800-pound gorilla here in the village. And given the importance of that meeting, which occurs tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I'm going to read the flyer, which is online. And it says, "The Transportation Department invites residents who are interested in learning more or wish to share the village transportation system to attend one of 2 informational meetings scheduled for Wednesday, that's tomorrow, March 20th, at 11 at Clubhouse 1 in the main lounge and 1:30 in the Towers. The program will be presented by Fair and Peers, a highly specialized consulting firm that helps communities and municipalities, by the way, they have extensive experience, meet the transportation needs of residents. The topics will include fixed route scheduling, plan a ride, and other transportation options."
Thank you. Security and Community Access, Director Parsons.
Okay, several things came up, I think, that are noteworthy. First one is that Chief Moy and Director Ray Gross from GRF have generated a golf cart safety video, which is going to be available. It's going to be sent to all golf cart owners and be played during the traffic school. So they look for great things to happen from there. Chief also mentioned that in doing a statistical analysis, that about 20% of our residents don't follow the rules. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in just a minute. But the fire avert device, which helps with detecting smoke in a person's residence, there's a pilot that's going on in Third Mutual in the Towers. It's moving forward. There are 5 units that are being tested, but nothing is going to be worked with or in conjunction with hard-wired units. These are separate, non-high, well, if I can say it right, hardwired units. Okay, some other things that came up. Some people are probably interested in this. Recreational vehicle lot parking spots. In Lot A, there are 35 vacancies right now, different sizes. And in Lot B, there are 11 open spots. So if you want to get into that, I think you should check with Recreation. Is that correct?
Siobhan?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just going over a few stats I think are noteworthy. People with delinquencies, this is basically where they owe money for one thing or another. There are 154 cases being worked on in January. Illegal occupancy is a biggie, and we're finding more and more on that. There are 82 cases being worked on in January. Landscape, 41 cases, which is up from previous months significantly. Patio clutter, 71 cases are being reported and being investigated. Traffic rules, which is always on the increase, is 51. And unauthorized alterations, 49, which is down from 53 the month before. But it's still a significant thing. One thing I'd like to bring up here is that Chief Moy talked about, and Jeff and Siobhan, if you'll clarify as we go through this, he mentioned that there are 17 security vehicles and staff moving to this building. There are 24 parking credits from the city for security purposes. More slots need to be put in the back of this building to accommodate that. And he said that there are 8 electric vehicles slots needed. So if you folks could clarify that a little bit more, I'd be happy, because it was kind of a barrage of things happening there.
We were working multiple fashions there. Obviously, electrical charging systems, we've talked about that and adding those, but coordination of the back lot, the upper lot, and also spaces that are beyond, I'll call airs. So using those locations will be enough to adequately address what we have at this point in time. But we want to continue to look at the charging stations as we move forward, not just for our operations, but for people in the village, period.
And that's great, because we all know that because of our infrastructure, a lot of, unless you have your own home with your own garage, the thought or probability of you being able to run out and just charge your car at your little structure could or could not ever be a possibility. So it will be of value to the community. So, okay, thank you. John, is there anything to report on disaster preparedness?
Yes, but first I want to mention that the fire avert system is very, very important. The preponderance of our fires here in the village are due to stoves. And this is a device that will be directly connected to your stove. It's relatively inexpensive. And upon finding smoke, or detecting smoke is the word I was looking for, it will shut the stove off. So it's a very, very important device, and I wouldn't be surprised if we begin to consider paying to put it in every manner. Okay, as far as disaster preparedness, there was no meeting. However, Director Parsons is the coordinator for Clubhouse 6. He did meet with the team to review Clubhouse 6 and its ability to meet our needs, and he may want to comment on that. Do you have any comments?
We did a walkthrough, and there's going to be a new floor plan developed of what areas are used for what purposes in case of a disaster. We also talked about external sources of shelter and things like that. But there's more coming down the pike as the chief reviews all the different clubhouses and the small golf course, places like that.
Okay, all right. Yes?
Can I add something to the electric charging stations information?
Certainly.
In the last MNC GRF meeting, it was discussed that we did apply for a rebate
Yes.
or a grant, and we were approved, and we are going forward with it. And there are going to be 8 charging stations around this building, and that would add to the 2 that we already have.
Yeah, that was also reviewed, the same thing.
Yes.
And we actually had to vote on it at the GRF finance meeting.
Okay.
As to, the need, but then the rebate, et cetera. But I'm glad you brought that up,
Yeah.
because if any of us read the paper, there was a letter in the paper that commented about the money that we were spending. And the thing is that unfortunately, as much as we try, sometimes only partial information gets out. And we were working diligently on getting the rebate so that we could do something
Yes.
and move forward. Okay.
And Ernesto has made sure that it's going to be completed by the due date, and we will get the full rebate.
Okay, so just a few things from us before we go around. Roy talked quite a bit about training, and we know that training, I think it was Roy, maybe it was Bunny. Well, in any case, so speaking of training, it's very important for us to have ongoing training, especially for the board members. So on Friday morning, we are having financial training update for new board members, as well as all board members who feel the need to have financial training. We asked for this on 3rd, but we also asked that this be opened up to all of the other boards, as well as people in VMS, if they're interested in understanding our finances. The other thing is we have requested from staff that we have Robert's Rules training, that we have harassment training, and we also have really a great list of training needs that was put together by Director Pearlstone. And we are going to make sure that we follow up on all the other training, things like how to chair a meeting. So things like that. So we have been promised by our Director of Communication that this list is going to be included in the orientation material. But, so it's really good. But we have to get these things moving along. I mean, we should have training as soon as we can. So, so that's really important. The other thing is we talked about a real estate meeting, and I know that you have a special group, but they used to have real estate meetings where all the real estate agents were asked to come in. And the boards also sent a few people there because it was interesting to hear things from out in the field. And is that going to happen? Because a real estate agent actually said to me, well, 3rd should have their own meeting with the real estate agents. So is that planned on happening?
That is something that I'll need to discuss with Mr. Parker, because Mr. Hudson had made the decision to focus on a small group as well as using the website to get information out to the group. So we'll have to revisit that.
I don't think that and that's a good thing to think, but I think that because we always used to have them and suddenly we don't have them, I don't necessarily, and maybe they became cumbersome, I don't know, but it is something that I have heard about, and it certainly isn't something that we on 3rd want to do on our own, because real estate is for the whole community. So at this point, we are ready to, look at the time, and that's with a guest speaker. Good job. So we're going to go around the table, and I'm going to start on my right this time, and any director, if any director has any comment, but we can start with you, Jeff. Do you have a comment?
No, great meeting.
Okay, welcome. Again.
Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. All right, Lynn.
I just want to suggest that maybe we need to publicize the common area situation a lot more. The problem we're having with the common area.
Okay. All right, that's a good idea. Take that to the communications team.
Okay.
All right, Kush.
None, but.
All right, we have to make sure that for us that we follow up on this situation with the number of dryers, et cetera.
Of course,
Yeah,
yes.
because,
And welcome back.
thank you. Roy?
Yes, welcome back. I just want to say that, and I forgot to say this, on the GRF Media and Communications Committee, the next meeting is April 15th. We always meet on a Monday at 1:30 PM in the boardroom. So Cheryl, if you can make sure we get that correct. The other thing is, we have written, I think a couple of months ago, an article on common area in the Breeze. Got no feedback on it, so maybe I should write another one.
Or you could have a rerun.
Or we can run it again. Thank you.
For me, thank you very much, Steve, for working so hard while I was home coughing for 2
Holy
weeks.
cow, I'm taking a vacation.
But, and thank all of you for working so hard and keeping this great board working together. So that's what I have to say, Steve. Anything?
Okay, dealing with common area, I think that a thrust could be made along the lines of, you're in a community. You're not a person that owns their house outside of the property. You're in a community, there are rules, there are regulations you got to adhere to, and it's a responsibility of the people to become aware of those, or even just ask questions, we'll get them answers. But the idea of community seems to be lost. And I would like to see that really brought back and made a manner of discussion. So other than that, nothing.
Bunny?
Nothing.
Jack?
Aside from the dryer issue is something in our building, nothing.
Talk to Kush.
I know him. He's on it.
John? Reza?
Tomorrow, actually Thursday is the first day of spring, and it's a new year for Iranian American community. I want to wish them a happy new year, all the Farsi-speaking community within the Laguna Woods Village.
Annie?
Nothing. Great meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Siobhan? Okay, so at this point, because I always might do it incorrectly, I have to say this meeting will recess for lunch and will reconvene to executive session this afternoon. Thank you.